do it landscape. I'm just going to see if you can hear me with my headphones and microphone here. Here. Is anybody here? So, you can barely hear me. I was just wondering if you could hear with my mic. Can you hear me now? I'm at a coffee shop in. I can't hear you. Okay, I'm gonna take my. There. Can you hear your Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm currently. You can't hear me. Can everybody hear me? Hi from Tennessee. Hi retired and prepping. Hi Four Hearts Ranch. Hi Tara. Hi Marie. Hello everybody. Can you guys hear me on here now? I had my headset in, but I wasn't too sure if it was better with it in or not. Yes, you can hear? Okay, awesome. I just figured I'm down here in downtown Ottawa as my daughter is at choir practice, and I figured I'd try a live stream as I'm trying to kill time. Oh, you can't hear? Okay. Hi, Blackstorm. Okay, let me try the headset again. Let's see. Is this better? Is this better? Comment below if you can hear me better with this on. Can you hear me now? Can't hear. Is it? Oh, is this better? I think I had my hand on the mic, on the speaker part. Barely better without. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying this. How's this now? Is it because of the background? Because there is music being played here that I have no control over. Better? Okay. You'll just get to see a bigger thing of my face. Okay. Hi. You get more of a close-up of my face. Not exactly a great thing, but... So how's everybody doing? Where's everybody from? And feel free to sub, up and down, comment, like, give a thumbs up of this live stream. I'm currently downtown Ottawa, actually by, awesome, Marie, Pennsylvania, or is that PA? That's Pennsylvania? I don't know my state's acronyms. Tennessee, awesome. I'm having coffee at a Second Cup, which is a Canadian coffee shop, downtown Ottawa, right across the street from our University of Ottawa, a couple of the buildings there. Pennsylvania, Florida, awesome. All kind of southern states, ones that don't see a lot of snow, or at least from my experience, from my understanding. You might get snow, but not as a whole winter. Like we get snow here. Born in Boston. Very cool. I've always wanted to see California, but haven't made it out that side of the coast yet. I've gone to BC, but wasn't there for very long. I was actually working with a client there. You had snow today. Well, I think Pennsylvania is one that you would get some snow, but not... Like, we start getting snow anytime from Canadian Thanksgiving in October, or Halloween, till beginning of April, end of April. And we have frost, chance of frost from anywhere from September till June. So, and then we have, like, we go from minus 40 degrees Celsius, like average is about minus 20 to 40 degrees Celsius in the summertime. So in the summertime here, it's always about 27 to 32 degrees Celsius, which is like crazy hot. It's like you're like, I think 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have both extremes here. We got a lot in February and March. Yeah. Thanks. I would love to read all of your comments. Awesome. So here, who likes coffee here? Are you guys coffee drinkers, or are you tea drinkers? Or are you hot chocolate drinkers? Or you just drink... I know in the States they like to have sweet iced tea, which is crazy sweet. When we've gone to the States, we've had iced tea, and that's like quite sweet. I'll leave you comments. I was watching on my phone in God House. Okay. Mimi coffee. Yeah, here. Cheers. I'm having, I think it's called a fit. So this is actually I got free. Because all the coffee shops, well, actually everywhere I go, if there's a rewards card, I sign up for it. And whenever I buy coffee, I don't always buy it at one specific spot. So as I keep on buying, I get points or something like that. And I get a free coffee every once in a while. So this one was a free coffee. So it was like salted caramel mocha latte, something like that. Me too. I make a pot of coffee in the morning, and I usually finish it, or at least by 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Sometimes, if it's been like it turns itself off, and I just keep on reheating in the microwave. But if I'm gone for a very long time and it's just been sitting there, I might make another pot. So, but yeah, I like, I personally, for coffee, I like the Costco Kirkland brand of, it's like espresso type bean or that. Oh, okay, that was weird. My phone just like locked out for some strange reason. So Folgers, my friend likes Folgers. I don't mind it. I like the Costco brand a bit better. I don't really like Maxwell House. That's the other big brand up here. That's the other big brand up here is Maxwell House. And I don't like Maxwell House. I do like sometimes we have a Tim Hortons brand up here. I might sometimes get that, or a McDonald's McCafe brand if it's on sale. But typically I'll buy a big can at Costco. It's like $12 for the big can, and it lasts me like 2-3 months. Because I'm really the only one that drinks coffee. My husband has a cup here and there, but I'm the one that drinks the coffee. Awesome, guys. Yeah. That's not like Maxwell at times. So what is everybody doing today? Is it good weather where you guys are? Or is it rainy or sunny or snowy? Here we had a little bit of snow this morning, but not enough. It was light dusting. But it's been about -4 degrees Celsius, -7 all day. So it hasn't been too bad. I think this weekend we're supposed to get a lot of snow. I said just about all day. Well, good for you getting your fridge cleaned out. I did that a couple weeks ago. I did a video of a day in the life where I cleaned up my upstairs fridge, and it took me forever because I got easily distracted with life and then a family wanting to eat, and apparently wanted me to make lunch and stuff. Hold here, Miss Sunny, please. That's somebody that like button to support you. Yes, awesome. Down to Florida. Finally sitting down to relax. Sunny, awesome. That's nice. It's sunny and sunny Florida is freezing. Is it really cold? It's dark now. Yeah, here it's dark too. Sun goes down here about 4:35. It's actually on. It used to be about 4:30. Just around its peak around the 21st of December, but now it's delayed to now almost about 5. So it's getting longer days. We're on that upswing. It was quite sunny today, all things considered. I hate it when it's like gray and cold and miserable. It's all about perspective too, right? So I'm sure you guys, if you came here, you'd see, you go, oh, that's cold. Yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to do that today. I was volunteering this morning, and then I came home and I was tidying up, and then I had to go grab my daughter and come down here by bus for my daughter's choir practice. She sings soprano 1 in the youth choir and has a practice every Tuesday downtown, which is about an hour by bus away from us, and it's from like 6:45 to 9:15, and then we go back home. But tomorrow is a PD day, so my kids don't have to get up and go to school, and I don't have. Well, I do have some place I can go in the morning, but I might cancel it. Right for somewhere. Yeah, I'm ready for summer, but summer's not going to hit here until after Easter, at least. And Easter this year is April Fool's Day, so it's not going to come any earlier. Do you guys do anything special for Valentine's Day? Because that's, I guess, the next holiday that's coming up. I'm looking to figure out. I'm not very romantic. My husband is the romantic person, so I'm looking for ideas to do something special for him for Valentine's Day, because he's the romantic one. So he'll plan a whole thing for me, but I'm not very good at figuring that part out. We kind of like have reverse roles, you know. So, okay, so I stay home. He goes to work. Oh, that's good. Yeah, my husband works too. I stay at home. And usually for like Valentine's Day, I'll make him. Sometimes go out. We never go out to a restaurant on Valentine's Day because it's so. Because can go out to eat. Yeah, well, that's nice. Well, here where I live, Valentine's Day anywhere usually puts on a special menu. But unfortunately, those special menus sometimes have you only have 3 or 4 choices. And I'll try anything once, but sometimes they're just too weird, or they're just not up our alley, or they're too frou-frou. I mean, I'm a foodie too. I don't like trying new things. But I also don't like to necessarily pay a whole bunch of money for a little bit of food. So what we usually do is we might order takeout or go to a local Chinese restaurant and get a bunch of stuff and take it home. Or we'll get ingredients and make stuff at home. So I've done it before. I picked up really good steak, and I picked up lobster or whatever and cooked it all at home and done it for a fraction of what it would cost to go to Red Lobster or a steakhouse. Because my kids are now teens, I still have to feed them even though it's Valentine's Day, right? And they will want similar what we have. So for 4 people to go anywhere, just a sit-down restaurant, we're paying $20 a person easily. If you want a fancier dinner, you're paying $30 a person. And that's not even with drinks, you know? And if we're going to a restaurant, we only get pop. Sometimes, or usually just water. We don't drink at restaurants, really, because it's too darn expensive. Here in Canada, where we live, a beer is $7-8, and a glass of whatever is starting at $9-10. So you want a rum and Coke, you're paying $10. It's crazy. So, or a glass of wine, $10. That's not even the bottle. A bottle here is you're paying $30 where you can get the $10 type wine. So, but I'm just trying to think of some ideas to do something romantic for Valentine's Day for my husband. If you have any ideas, feel free to comment below, either before or after the stream, because I'm not very creative. Because all I can really think of is food or that. I might get an ice cream cake because he likes ice cream cakes. I'm not, I don't mind them, but they're not my favorites. So he'll usually do something special. Jen, do you have no, I don't think so. I've never seen one where we are. There might be one in Toronto, because that's a really big city. But I've heard of Cracker Barrel. Haha, yes. Well, there's always that. But you can't wrap that up. But yes, there's always, because I've gone on Pinterest before, and there's always like these cool, neat ideas for things. But I'm like, I don't know if my husband really appreciates that, or one year when we were first dating, I think our first Valentine's Day, next to the interstate here. No, I haven't seen a Cracker Barrel here. There might be one near Toronto, or maybe Niagara Falls, since there's the border there. I've only heard of it. I've heard good things that people go there. Oops, there's my kid. But here like we've gone to like local diners on Valentine's Day once or twice, and it was jam packed, and it's quite loud, and we're not really big on it being busy. And I thought I'd just drop in for a couple of minutes before I head to bed. Hi Liz, how you doing? How's the weather over the pond? Stormy like snow or stormy like rain? I'm just so glad there's lots of people on here. Please give it a thumbs up. And feel free to comment and subscribe to people on here. Like super windy, okay. Hopefully you have everything tied down. I know here when we have like really high winds, it's almost like tornado style winds. We need to have everything tied down, or else they land in our neighbors' yards. That's why, like we used to, many moons ago in our backyard, we had like a patio table and an umbrella, and we lost the umbrella. We never knew where it went. And we have like 10-foot hedges in my backyard, so some 20-foot hedges. So it somehow got pulled and blown, God knows where. So we have no patio table anymore. Hi, Mountain Mama. I'm having coffee downtown by myself, so I figured I'd go on here and see if anybody would be on. I've had a very long day. I got up this morning early at 5. I really would love to go to bed early today, but that's never going to happen. I thought it was loud. Yes, sorry about that. That's the background music here. Did you ever find the sunshine? No, I never did. It blew in some neighbor's yard, and nobody put it out on garbage day or anything, so I have no idea. So we never got another one. So does anybody have any questions, maybe about Canada or that I can answer? We've been talking about the weather and so how many kids does everybody have that has kids? I only have 2. I have 2 girls. I love that everybody's like subbing and giving thumbs up. and hopefully be able to watch people's videos. I know you've mostly placed. I said I'm right now downtown Ottawa at a coffee shop named Second Cup, drinking coffee, and it's right across the street from Ottawa University here. So my daughter is having choir practice down here, so I'm at the coffee shop next door for 2 hours, and then we bus home. Well, thank you very much, Blackstorm. Hi, Pappy Pinnell. Nice to see you. I was just saying I was having coffee down here while my daughter's in choir practice. Please excuse the background noise of radio and people talking. I just figured I'd try a live stream and see how that would go. I'm just quite happy that people showed up and came in and said hi. You know what's funny, Blackstorm? My husband and I used to play a bunch of online games like Mech Commander and stuff like that. We'd go on teams, and I was Red Storm because I like to dye my hair red, and he was Black Storm. It was all one word. I have a question from the currency ratio from US dollar. So the ratio is approximately about 25 cents, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. At the last summer, it was really good. It was almost on par. So $1 Canadian was like 95 cents American, because when we went on vacation, we got American currency because other countries accept American currency more than Canadian currency, because then they have to exchange it, etc. And we just always exchange to American currency whenever we go anywhere because it's accepted everywhere. So it's Canadian currency, but there's a little bit more of a transaction, like they have to bring it to a bank and stuff. So when last summer, at the beginning of summer, we bought some American money, and we were paying, I think it was $1.10 Canadian per dollar American. But then by the end of summer, when we wanted to get some more money, it was already at $1.20 something Canadian for $1. So that's why if you look at my grocery hauls, if you look at how much I spend on, like, say, potatoes or whatever, you could put a comparison to yours. I like watching other people's grocery hauls and take into account where they're from. And it's neat to just kind of compare. Like, some of the things here are cheaper than most people have in their grocery hauls, but then other things are more expensive. Like, our fruit and veggies here are usually more expensive, especially in the wintertime. Like at one grocery store this week past, cauliflower was $4.49. I'm not going to pay $4.49 for a head of cauliflower. So instead I went to another store and it was $2.49. So $2.49 is an okay winter price, but not the rest of the day. Have a good rest. It's 20. Well, you have a good sleep, Liz. Bye. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. I really appreciate it. It came from a KitchenAid cover. Oh, very cool. That's great. Oh, wow, Mountain Mama, that's a lot of grandkids. You don't look old enough to have that many grandkids. There must have been lots of twins in there or something. Wow, you must have either lots of kids and they all have like one kid each or something. Because I'm just, I'm going to be turning 43 this year. and mine are teenagers. Another question. Heard y'all have the original A1 sauce in Canada and the US has a different... Yes, we do. The A1 sauce is the original here. We also have Heinz steak sauce and a couple of other name brands. The A1 sauce is quite popular here. It's a very steaky sauce. It's kind of like steak sauce / barbecue sauce. Well, whenever you could probably order it online from a Canadian site, but then you'd have to probably pay duty and stuff. It's not necessarily cheap. Like A1 sauce and the Heinz steak sauce never seems to go on sale, so it's usually like what, $3 or $4 a bottle. Yeah, A1 is good. I don't buy it that often because it's never on sale, and I'm always about getting a bargain. So I do pick it up when I'm going to spend a little bit extra money on good steaks or stuff. Winter's there and summer's here. Yeah, it's winter here in Canada. We have winter typically anytime from October, mid-October, so that's when our Thanksgiving is, or Halloween. So here in Canada, we're always getting our kids' Halloween costumes to fit over snowsuits, or have it so that they can have snowsuit. Yeah, Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. I love that stuff. I put that in my beef stew and my barley soup. Hi, June. How you doing? Sorry if the phone is a bit bouncy. I'm holding it because I have nowhere to really stand it up here. I didn't quite think this through because I have my laptop here. I could probably... Yeah. I unplug it. Let's see what I can do here. Maybe if I put that there. See? I don't know if it'll stay. Yeah, did you have surgery, June? There. I'm free. I know somebody recently was having... Awesome. Woohoo, Junior, almost at 1,000. You're at 700. Very cool. I'm only at like 430 something, I think. Yeah, I see. Sometimes I forget. I'm trying to look and try and find the hole to drink out of. I was at 430, 418. Well, so what happens with that, with the YouTube, is the subscribers tend to fluctuate because some people will subscribe and say that they subscribe so you can subscribe back, and then they'll unsubscribe you. There's a few that I find that's with the younger kids, teens, and stuff that are just trying to get subs. And then also YouTube sometimes unsubs you. Because I noticed the other day I was subbing to some YouTube sites, and I subbed and I went back to go play a video, and I was unsubbed. I'm like, I didn't do that. So may show our age. Her favorite movie is Strange Brew. Do you know it? Yes, I do. It's one of the Canadian movies that portrayed Canadians as being drunken rednecks up here in Canada. So yeah, I remember that from, I think it was in the 80s or early 90s. Also we had like Bub and Doug McKenzie and the 12 Days of Christmas with beer. that they sing. We have Red Green. I don't know if it's still on. Red Green show. Yeah, so what I find is hilarious that on movies and shows that have a Canadian in there, they always have the Canadian say, "How you doing, eh?" and using "a" all the time, or trying to say "aboot." I've never heard a single person here say "aboot." It's "about." Now we might pronounce different things different than you guys in the States, or even different from England. Like we kind of have it in between, and depends on where you are in Canada of how you pronounce stuff. So you have in the Maritimes versus BC, and go throw in Quebec in there, and you got the French accent, and they're going to say three for three and stuff like that. But well, I'm just happy that you're at 700. That's amazing. How long have you been on YouTube for, June? I'm only at like 430 something. I don't know. It's really hard to get subs, and then also to get the interaction too. I mean, I'm just figuring out this live stream. As you can see, it's not perfect because it's up and down. I haven't quite figured out how to do it landscape. 916 Four Hearts Ranch. That's awesome. I've been watching a bunch of your YouTube videos, so that is really cool. Thank you. Me too. Oh, since 2013, but didn't really work on it until yeah. I only really started last January, and it was basically for myself and for friends. Like, I was doing a pantry challenge last January, trying to eat out of the pantry and freezer and stuff, and trying to hardly spend any money. So that's in there as a pantry challenge videos, and I was just recording what we ate or what I did with the food each day, and then I started videotaping me cooking and stuff like that, my grocery hauls, because I had friends and family want to know how I cook certain things, and I get inspired by recipes, but I don't always follow them, so I was taking basically videos so that I knew what I actually did versus what the recipe said to do. So then that way I can still look back and try and recreate it. I've had the same stalker troll bully since... Oh, really? Knock on wood. I don't know. There's a wood here. But, I haven't had any that I know of, so... Fine. That's good. What's up, Backstubs? Who subs? I do know who subs you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Can we actually see our subs? Because, I know we can see who we're subscribed to. I had a stalker, and they annoyed... Oh, yeah. I haven't had that yet. Maybe because I'm a Canadian channel, and it's harder to find me. I don't know. I haven't made soap yet. I did buy my youngest daughter for Christmas a making soap set. I think it's a glycerin one, but they are not private. So let's go public. Okay. Oh, really? Yeah, I just started looking at analytics. So, retired, everyone wants asks you to sub them, and when they reach their goal, they unsub or don't sub back. It's very selfish. Yeah, I don't understand that. If they have it private, it will let you know who subscribed. Okay. Okay. But if you have your subscribers subbed, I think, not subbed, subscribers hidden, YouTube might not necessarily count them. I read that somewhere that if you're listed as private and your subscribers list is private, that YouTube kind of guesses what it is and might not count them. But it was very confusing. I read a few YouTube posts on it. Just too much. Yeah, I saw that somewhere. Google it. I mean, don't take my word for it, but I saw somewhere that people who are listed as private that haven't checked that YouTube sends you an email when someone subs you. Yes, they do. So, well, you have to check that in your options. So, I have that, or I did have that, but then my email was getting filled with things that people subbed or posted comments. All subs will not be private after new rules is one of the mandates. Oh, really? So YouTube can see. Well, yes, YouTube can see who subbed you. That's what I think that they do. But they said in a post that they only count the subscribers that are public, not the ones that are private. It always goes up, but when I look at my subscribers, they are not subscribers. They do not show up. My numbers go up. Okay. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know mine fluctuates, and I know that the YouTube results are can be like 48 hours delayed. So if one day you have 439 subscribers, next day you might have 450, and the next day you might have back down to 430. Check with someone who talks to Susan. Okay, yeah. Because I was just I saw that somewhere on one of the posts. Because somebody was reading had the YouTube letter, and it like said something clearly in there about that. That's why they are changing it. So is that? I like it when we support. Exactly. Like I want everybody here, if they can, try and sub each other. At least watch one video of their channel, comment, click a thumbs up. I mean, it can't hurt. Like this is why I don't understand. Like some people are being all like mean or crazy. Is that we're all here to be friendly and enjoy and have a community, right? It's just so strange when you had the letter and said, okay, because there was another one that somebody was reading off of it might have been on like the new rules and stuff, I don't know. But yeah, I got the letter and I'm like, that letter was like a kick in the face, you know? But like thinking about on it, like the amount of money that you're making with less than 1,000 subscribers is pennies. So once you hit 1,000 subscribers in the 4,000 hours, that means that you'll make more money in a shorter period of time. But from what I gather, it'll be the same. Like I started making videos last January, and then I got monetized, I think May or June. And then the new views rules came out to 10,000 views. Then I got demonetized because I didn't have 10,000 views at that time. What was it before? It was 10,000 views. Before it was, I think, 300 or 1,000 views or something like that, and 100 subscribers, I think. I did have to have. I can't remember right. It was a certain period of time, so you had to be producing videos for I think like 3 months, and you had to have I think maybe 1,000 views, and maybe 100 subscribers or something. I've not made anything yet. I have. Somebody says, "Oh, looks like awesome. Hey, I've earned near $100 in less than a year." Yes. Oh, good. You know, I've made, I think, $15. So I got remonetized end of November, beginning of December. But then I didn't really produce a lot of videos in December because we were sick and busy, and it was just too much. So we produced, maybe about 10, 15 videos. And then the kids went back to school, and I was starting to go back and edit the videos that I had taken. Hi, Living and Learning. And then I got the email. And I'm like, well, that's a kick in the teeth. I haven't even made hardly anything. Well, definitely not to get a paycheck. So what's probably going to happen is that February 20th will come around. I'll not have $100 in there. So it'll just sit in that account until I hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours, which I'm not close to, but I figure I'm not necessarily in this to make money. It was just kind of a bonus, and it really wasn't like any money I would have made. When I do get a check at some point in the near future, it will just go into savings and put towards buying like a cow for the freezer, well, a quarter of a cow for the freezer, because my freezer I don't think would hold. I'd have to eat a whole bunch more food in there to eat to make room for more than a quarter of a cow. I started putting videos out and got 257. So that's the funny thing. So I kept on producing videos, and I was at under 200 videos in just beginning of January. Now, since just before the YouTube email, I was starting to produce more videos, and I was getting a few more subscribers, and I was participating in a few Facebook groups that allowed you to share videos, like ones that I was in. So a couple of them, I'm on a couple of like food groups, and I would share a video of me cooking something, and then some people from there would watch the video or subscribe. So I usually got like a couple of subscribers a day. But what I found, though, this past week I managed to have more time on my hands at various times, and I noticed on my computer it showed different people being on live streams, and I've been participating in other people's live streams, and the chit-chat and the camaraderie and the friendships we've been making has been awesome. Good thing I enjoy sharing our life, because it cost me to do this, and I haven't made a cent. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I have a camera, so we got a camera for our trip in the summer. It's just a little tiny. One time I'll have the camera. It's just a little tiny camera, kind of like a GoPro, but a much cheaper version. But it has a case that you can go underwater with, and that's why we got it. But it doesn't do great videos, or I haven't figured out how to do really good videos. Like, this is going to have good video because it's on my phone. Well, my camera, it doesn't hook up to the computer, and it only saves things in like 5 minute clips. So, and then I have the CyberLink Power Director thing. We ended up buying it because I had the free version on my phone, but the free version on the computer was not able to access where I have the files. So I have a laptop, but it doesn't have a very big hard drive, so I would not be able to hold all the little clips of videos. So I have them stored on an external hard drive on our network on my husband's computer, and so I can access it. But through another application we got, we tried out, it wasn't able to see it, and it couldn't see from Google Drives. And we're a Google family. Like, we have Gmail as our email address. We have Google Homes. We have Google Drives. Our thermostat, our new one, will be run by Google. Yeah, my one's not a GoPro, but it's like a GoPro. It's like a little tiny camera. I'll show it, but it's only this big, so it fits in your pocket really well. And like, we took on vacation, and it took pretty good pictures underwater, and that was what we wanted. So just looking back here, most of my friends, I know there's some really nice people I've met on here, and things that's like it feels like you guys are like sisters from other mothers, or brothers if there's a guy that pops in here. So, struggling with exactly. So I was struggling with not enough space. So my husband, being the techie, he has all this space. Look at getting an external hard drive that you could hook up to your laptop or your computer if you use it, and that's where you could save all your files. And then once you make the video, like once I make a video, I just delete them off my computer. So I don't really necessarily need them other than on YouTube. I'm old, I need something with a big screen. I have a Dell Latitude E64110, 10. It's an older, well, not so old. I got it a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. But we got it, there's a site my husband gets computer stuff from. I think it's called Tiger Direct or that, and he looks at refurbished computers. And it was like only like $200 Canadian. So, and with shipping and tax, it was like maybe $250. So, two and red. I need a techie. Yeah, my husband has 3 Synology 4-bay hard drive enclosures, and each of those bays has 2 terabyte hard drives in them. Plus he has 3 computers with hard drives on them. Plus we have the Shield, which has a hard drive connected to the TV. Plus I have a laptop. My 2 daughters have a laptop or a tablet, and then we have 4 phones. He has a 24-port hub, and we have all the spots used on it. So there's lots of. He actually needs a new computer. He likes desktop computers because you can hold more, while a laptop is more convenient. So it's if you can find an external hard drive, that's the way to go. High Food Forest Permaculture is pain and exhaust. It's been a very slow. What was slow? High Springfield Ridge Farm. The things you're in. Yeah. What was slow though? Like just time running slow, or people not listening to you and not doing what you say, kind of like my kids. Oh, sorry, June, that you have. Oh, you slow. Oh, because you're in pain? Yeah, I don't know what it is. My back has been acting up like the past 3 or 4 days. As you can see in my last live stream, I had my back massaging pillow thing that I had at my base of my back. But I'm downtown Ottawa that I can bring that with me on the bus. No, just me. But, yeah, please feel free to click the thumbs up button. Oh, okay. I haven't caught up on a lot of people's videos. A lung transplant. Yikes! That's rough. Yeah. Needing to breathe is important. Sleep you can get away with not having, but just hit my knee. That's okay to say. Yeah, my dad had I think it's called POCS, POCS or PCOS, and it had like emphysema and all that stuff. It's hard to keep all the time with watching videos. Well, I really appreciate any few minutes you have watching my videos. I love it. Usually, so this one's a specialty coffee because I got it for free. So instead of just getting coffee with cream, I got fancy. So it's like a salted butterscotch mocha something. So it's sweet, and I'm not used to sweet these days. I quit sugar in my coffee about 5 years ago. I used to be a double girl or a triple for an extra large coffee like this. Like this is like something like 14 ounces or something. But now I just do cream. I can't do milk. Like I used to be a scout leader. Like my girls were in scouts here in Canada. Scouts is unisex. So we don't have Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. We have just Scouts. We do have Girl Guides, which is separate. So figure that one out. But with scouting, it's boy and girl, and same with boy and girl leaders. So I was a leader, and my kids were in scouts for like 8 years. But last year, my oldest was the last year she was in scouting. She was in Ventures. This year she didn't go because she wasn't going in grade 11, and she was having just too much work and homework. And my youngest quit scouting when she was at the end of grade 8. Just the group that we were in, she didn't get along with one of the leaders that we had. He was kind of like, OCDC, kind of narcissistic a bit. Like he had a daughter in it too, but some rules applied to his daughter, but not my daughter. And anyways, it is what it is. So she decided, not to go back, even though she enjoyed the camping part. So, yeah, my kids could camp. Like here in Canada, we always had winter camp. Like usually this past weekend, the last weekend of January, when it's usually like minus 20 to minus 40, and we'd be renting out a log cabin where we'd have to collect the firewood. Like we'd have to go hike to where there was some already chopped. We had to go get it and drag it in with sleds, and then we'd have to bring our own water. It did have propane for the stove and the lights. There was 2 lanterns in there. But they had a wood stove and an outhouse, and we had to drill a hole in the frozen lake with an auger to get fresh water, and then we'd pump it through carbon filters and stuff, and then my kids would go ice fishing. But we never actually caught anything. Well, they'd make their own fishing line with a hook and all that stuff. So, and then we'd make maple syrup on snow, especially on fresh. That the only problem is that like when you make it, it makes it for like 10, 12 people. My family is only 4. I would love a wood stove too, but we just don't have the room or the money for that. Hi, Maniac Grammy's Homestead. Nice to see ya. Glad to see you on here. I used to love watching Misty Fur. Yeah, I remember her. I've seen her, and I heard the pellet stove is better than the wood stove. My friend, she lives out in the country, in Rockland, so she lives in the east end of Ottawa, like just outside, and she had a wood-burning stove, and then she upgraded it to a pellet stove, as it cost her less in pellets than it did with wood, and it was more energy efficient for the size of cabin, and she didn't have to wake up in the middle of the night to feed the stove as well, because she had kids that were at the time younger with the wood stove, and with the pellet stove she was able to, like, either it kept her house hotter or for longer, or it burnt the pellets longer. Everyone, oh no, she is gone. Night everyone, I'm not feeling great. Okay, well, night Maniac Grammy. I hope you feel better. Wood stove, but we have woods on the property. Well, exactly. So, Spring Ridge Farm. Hi. Well, that's the thing. Like, I have friends who live out in the country near me. Like, so so think of this. Ottawa is in the center. I'm at the west end of Ottawa, and my other friend lives in the east end of Ottawa. So where I am, I'm just at the edge of what would be considered Ottawa's proper So we're still under Ottawa Hydro versus Hydro One, which is the rest of Ontario, which, honestly, it's in our best interest because Ottawa Hydro has much lower hydro rates, while Hydro One, it's gone skyrocket. But like 5-10 minute drive from my house further west, you're outside of the real city limits and you're in the country. So I have friends who just live outside there, and they've got a wood stove and woods on their property, and that's how they actually heat their house all winter long, because hydro is just too expensive. They only turn it on for the lights and the stove. Actually, I don't even think the stove. I think they have propane for the stove, or they use the wood stove for most things. But my friend who lives out in the country in the West End, she has teenage / 20-year-old sons who also work part-time at various farms, to lift bales of hay and stuff. So that's how she makes an income. She actually has her sons cut down trees on her property and sell cords of wood to other people, as well as cut some for herself, so that she has enough wood for the winter, and she has enough to sell to have money. I want to have one outside. Well, that would be very cool. Esther Emery is her name. She has an outside wood stove. She was one of the first ones I saw pressure canning and canning on an outside wood stove. So, supper is ready. I have to go. Jen. Bye. Have a nice supper. What time is it where you are, permaculture? It's almost 8 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. It's 5 p.m. See, we don't usually eat here until 6, 7 o'clock. Just because my husband's never home until that time, so. Just looking here. Yeah, I would love to have a wood stove. I do, like, my house technically does have a fireplace, but it needs to be cleaned, and I need to have somebody come in and turn the opening of the fireplace, because it's like in between a wall and it was opening into the playroom. But we just don't use it. We never got cleaned, or like our inspector when we bought the house a few years ago said it needed to be inspected and that, so we just have it there. So maybe if it was SHTF situation, we could use it, but we'd actually have to have wood or something. So, or lots of newspaper, I guess. 8 p.m. here, 7 p.m. Western Country. Bye, permaculture. Hope tomorrow I hope to be on here. Maybe at noon. I'll try that, because I know tomorrow I don't have anything around noon. So. Just 1 second, I'll be right back. sorry. I'm at a coffee shop, so I had to go get the Wi-Fi password. Hopefully you've been chatting. Oh, I'm having difficulty with the internet here. Well, I am Jen in Canada. Canada is a west end suburb of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Ottawa is the nation's capital of Canada, and that's where I am at. Wow. Is your Berkshire pig, Four Hearts Ranch, is that a pet or is that possibly supper someday? There we go. Wi-Fi. Yes, feel free, sub up and down. Just typing in the password here. HP-R-P-P-R. There we go. Are you going to be on early again? If I'm up tomorrow, I'll pop on early. I'm usually up at 6:30. But this morning I was up at 5, so I said, I'll try, see if anybody was up. I'm definitely going to try around noon. I'm really enjoying these live streams. It's kind of fun. I like seeing where everybody's at. And, you guys feel free to ask me questions. I'll see what I can answer. But yeah, incubate chicks. Do you do that for a living, Mountain Mama? I know some people do that and incubate chicks for other people and then sell them for money for other homesteads and stuff like that. Oh, Wolf Creek. Let's go. Library hatch just hatched 15. Ready for work. Cool. I do, and we sell the hatchling. Sell hatching eggs. Cool. I love watching them hatch too. I've seen, I think Rose from Wholesome Roots had some chicks hatch last spring. And I really love seeing that. That was kind of cool. As I'm just outside of the city, in the suburbs, so I'm kind of a city girl. So don't have a lot of farming necessarily experience. I'm more of a gardening / canning type person. So they're really close by. I already said I don't make videos, but sure enjoy watching. Well, living and learning, you could make videos if you want. I do it as a hobby. I did it kind of record for my own records and stuff like that. Chuck's hatch, very interesting. Awesome. Love everybody's sharing support. Click a thumbs up on this video too. Love my coffee. It being sweet, though, is kind of odd. I'm used to not having it sweet. Exactly. Like, so the way I see it, it's like we're all kind of neighbors, just our neighbors are thousands of miles or kilometers away. It's nice to find like-minded people. Like, I don't know about you guys, but as an adult, it's really hard to make friends because, God forbid you talk to a guy that you might have something in common with because they think that you're hitting on them or, you want something more. No, I'm just chatting with you. I find whatever you're interested in interesting. Same with a girl. Like, you never, people, it's really hard to just make friends, not drinking buddies or gambling buddies or go to the strip club buddies or whatever. No, just people to chit chat, have coffee, ask how their day was. And I find that's how YouTube has brought people together that would otherwise be isolated. So, for example, myself, I'm an introvert and an extrovert. I'm an introvert is that I'm a homebody. I don't really go out and party. I never have. Even as a teenager, I never went to big parties or anything like that. When I was in college, I went to the bars with friends or whatever, but I kind of kept to myself. I didn't go really crazy. And now as an adult, I used to have a bit more friends when my kids were in elementary school and me volunteering at the school and my kids having, friends through that. But now as they've grown over and they made their own friends, that I'm not necessarily friends with their parents. Like, I might know their parents, but I'm not friends with them because everybody's gone back to work. Everybody's working odd hours. Everybody's so busy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So if they want to go, if the friends I have that do work, if they want to go out, they want to go out at night. Well, my husband doesn't get home till 6, 7 o'clock. I actually enjoy his company. I would like to see him at night, so I try not to go out at night often. So Tuesdays I'm always out because my youngest daughter has choir practice, so I don't see him ever on Tuesdays. And Monday I have a Bible study that I go to, but I'm usually home by 9. So he'll have supper with my kids, and then when I get home, we'll watch a show and cuddle on the couch or whatever, if he's awake. But usually by Monday night, he's exhausted anyway, so he's kind of useless to have conversation with. He's exhausted because, Mondays are, just awful. But I really enjoy country life. I live vicariously through all the, big homesteads, the little homesteads, the ones who just, have animals just for fun. There's a few channels that they have chickens and they're just egg-laying chickens and they would never harvest them for food. I watched one lady. She's a vegetarian and she has chickens. And she eats eggs, but she doesn't eat milk or dairy. So I don't know, but at least eggs are vegetarian, I guess. But you guys, I love the country life and stuff, but I don't drive, so it's really hard to have a country life. And having here in Canada, yes, you can get land fairly cheaply, but to everywhere around here, we're on the Canadian Shield, so it's solid rock. So you have to blast to make a well or a septic tank or anything. You can get land here, but if you want a septic system, my friend has to get hers redone, and it's going to cost her $35,000 to redo her septic system. $35,000. Just get a loan to just get the septic system redone because it's flooding and cracked or whatever. I mean, she's had it for 40 years, but but as an adult, it's really hard to make friends. And even when you do make them, it always seems that everybody has ulterior motives, I feel the same way. My husband's gone all week right now. Well, exactly. So that's how. This is what happened to me at Christmas time. I totally agree with you, Wolf Creek Homestead. He said, I feel the same way. My husband is gone all week right now, so on the weekend I just want to stay home with family. Over the Christmas holidays, my husband took off 2 weeks off work. My kids had 2 weeks off work and off school. And so I wanted to actually spend time with my family. And it was freaking cold out. So our initial plans of going and doing things around town as a family got kiboshed. So we ended up just staying home in our PJs most of the time, playing board games, eating food, and spending time. Yeah, about create $35,000 for a well. Yeah. And that's just for the well. Because she's looking at selling her. My friend, she's 75? No, she's nowhere than that. She's 78 now. Who is Bambi for Hearts? I'm not sure. I don't know. Did she pop in here? Bambi Ranch? I don't know. Yeah. But that's the going rate here, you know. Now, if she lived even further out in the country, it would be cheaper. But since she's close enough to the city, it's a city rate, you know. So I work for about 30 hours a week. So I wish I could be home more. Like grass is always greener. Exactly. Like I have curly hair. Okay. People go, oh, I love your hair, it's so curly. Yeah, it's curly, it's always messy, it's always naughty. I used to try and straighten my hair, right? I used to get perms to try and straighten my hair to be straight, and that never worked. You know, I colored my hair because I like the red color and try to cover some of this gray too, which I need to do more so. But people loved my natural color. You know, we always want what other people have. You know, like I was an only child, so technically I wasn't an only child. Like I was an only child until I was 6, and then my mom had a baby, but she died of SIDS. So I didn't really have a sibling. But as a kid, I always wanted a big family. I wanted 12 kids. And when I met my husband, I said that to him, and he laughed. And then he's like, "Well, we'll see. You know, let's see if we'll stay together. You know how this is going to work." And then we started having a family, and we had 1 kid. And I'm like, "Oh, 1. Maybe we'll have." I cut it down from 12 to about 5 or 6, right? And then after that baby was born, you know, I'm like, okay, definitely want 2, possibly 3, maybe 4, right? You know, we'll see how that is. Going from 0 to 1 was hard. Going from 1 to 2 wasn't hard at all, except for the fact that my youngest was born legally blind. I've been watching her, if you haven't noticed. Yes. So with that, she had a bunch of appointments, doctor's appointments at the hospital here and in Toronto, and there was lots of travel and stuff like that. And when she was, you know, when we were contemplating going back to work, because that was the full plan with me going back to work, we decided that wasn't quite fair for the kids to have their daycare provider, which was an awesome lady. Like she treated my kids like they were her own. To have all these therapies coming into her home. It was just not fair. And I worked nights. So I would never see my family. So I would go to work for 10. I'd have to leave at 8. I'd get off at 8 in the morning. And we'd exchange my oldest at the bus stop halfway between the house and my work. I'd go home, feed her breakfast, and then drop her off at daycare so I could sleep during the day. Then I would go pick her up around 4 or 5. You know, feed her supper, get supper ready, and go off to, you know, my husband would get home and me go off to work. You know, I'd see him for like half an hour to an hour, 4 days a week. And, you know, that was fine for a time. But, no, I didn't. I didn't go back to work. So I didn't go back to work with my oldest. I didn't with my youngest because it would just not have been fair. And with all the therapies and like when we were called for surgery, like we don't drive, right? So Toronto was where all the eye surgeries were happening, the major ones. It's 5 hours away drive. So we don't drive. So we had to arrange for childcare and or bring my oldest with me, and we'd take the train or take a plane. The plane was like way more expensive, but we usually took the train because then that way we could carry a whole bunch more stuff because they didn't have really a weight limit or baggage limit. At least back then. Now they have a little bit. But, we'd carry the car seat, and we'd carry the stroller, and we'd carry suitcases, and as long as we could all get on the train, it was good. We'd have to go through security and all that stuff, which you have to do with a plane. But, no, that's why we decided to stay at home. Like, the amount of money that I was making, like for childcare, 15 years ago, I was paying $40 Canadian per child for childcare. So when my youngest was born, I would have had paying $80. She might have got me a deal like maybe $70 because I had two in her care. But that was the going rate, and that's still the going rate. It's now about $45, almost $50 per kid for childcare. I was making overnights $13.61 an hour, which meant my take-home pay was about 110, maybe 120, depending on the day, per day. So, because we had to pay taxes. So out of $100, I would have had to pay $80 for childcare. So that $20, it wouldn't really have helped because then I would have to spend on a bus pass and work clothes and food for work. And then more convenience food for home, like the freezer meals, the lasagnas or whatever, versus me cooking at home. Now, we looked at our budget, and at the time, we said, well, no, we'll sacrifice me not going back to work so that I can take them on to different appointments and activities, and we just cut down our spending. We cut out cable and all that stuff, and it worked out fine. Like it just became our new normal. I work all day. I'm number one poop scooper, dishwasher, animal feeder, you name it. I'm number at it. Yes, exactly. I have to go bye. All nice talking to you. We'll watch the videos there. Okay, bye, Mama. Feel free comment below any questions or that. And hey, try and catch me next time on live stream. Yes, when I had my third child, I officially started making minus 23. Well, exactly. So that was the thing. Like, I didn't drive. Like, I don't drive. But a bus pass here for a month was about $100 a month. Well, if you drove, you'd be paying about $100 for parking as well. Well, and then you have work clothes. So, like, I worked as a physical care attendant. So I had to have proper work nursing type shoes and clothes that would be easily to wash because I could possibly get bodily fluids on me or that, but had to be able to be up and cover so that when I bent over to help lift up somebody, I wasn't showing everything God gave me, because when you're top heavy, it's really hard. Like a t-shirt is quite revealing if the neck is too low. So like even this is just it's not too low. And when you bend over, whatever. But yeah, so we just looked at our finances, and even though, like, even right now, in the past couple of years, my husband and I, we've been talking of me going back to work part-time, either in my field or even just doing retail or like coffee shop, like Tim Hortons or Starbucks or whatever. Because if I go into my field, though, it's shift work. So there would be a 7 to 3 shift, there would be a 3 to 11 shift, and then there would be an overnight shift. Where I used to work is not, it's dispatches, so I can't go back to the same place. But all the other like group homes and housing is all in like further suburbs. So travel time, wherever I would go, it would be an hour away because there's nothing near where I live in my field. Now, I do have the qualifications for... yeah, you can go there. I do have the qualifications for being an EA in the school system, but then you can't choose which school you go on, right? And then I would have to go through testing, go through recertifications and stuff. So there's a lot more money involved in that. And then I would have odd hours that would be opposite of my husband because he works 9 to 5. Well, yeah, 9 to 6. So I would not see him. And I apparently like my husband, so... Okay, see you in a bit. But yeah, that's the way things are. So we've contemplated maybe I'll work at a local grocery store or coffee shop part-time, during the daytime while the kids are in school, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and a couple days a week or something like that, or maybe one 8-hour shift every couple of days. And every time we thought about doing that, so like the last time we were researching, trying to find my old resume on one of the old hard drives in our cyber graveyard in the basement, because my husband has tape drives and God knows what in there. But trying to find my own resume, something medical came up in my family. Well, if I was working, I would have had to take time off to take care of my kids. But my husband doesn't have a whole bunch of extra time off because he needs it when he's sick, or he needs it when I'm sick. If I'm sick and I can't take care of myself, I definitely can't take care of the kids either. So he'll sometimes take it off. And then just recently, we were literally just talking about it this fall, when school starts. We're like, everything's kind of going good with the kids. They're all settling in and stuff. And I started looking through, seeing what was available in the area. My father-in-law goes and gets sick and then gets rushed to the hospital and was in the hospital for a week. Well, everybody in the family works. They couldn't take the time off because there's a whole bunch of flus that were going around. And they couldn't take it off, so I got asked if I could go and visit him during the day. And that's what I did. So, so if I was working, I wouldn't have been able to help him and visit him during the day and help him at lunchtime and stuff like that. And that's what I just did because that's what I do. So, I might go back to work. Maybe this fall I might look into it and try and find one day a week. What I'm going to do is quit and get... Yeah, I think that's how I started homesteading. I quit my job, got chickens. Yeah, moved out of the city. See, that's the thing is you'd have to move out of the city. Where I am, I can't have any farm animals or anything like that, so... But, well, see, the thing is with people who are homesteading is that they're not necessarily earning money. They're just sort of earning food to live off of. So when that food, like if you have livestock or a garden, if there's a natural disaster that your gardens don't produce well or kills your garden, or you have illnesses in your flock and you lose a bunch of animals that you were expecting to harvest for the freezer or sell for money to buy food or however you do it, or milking cows or goats and stuff, you're up shit's creek without a paddle, you're in the negative. So that's why you always have to have backup plans to backup plans. Yeah, that's why we moved to... God, take it because my ducks are loud. A little loud. Oh my goodness. Yeah, a friend of mine has ducks and chickens, and when I've gone to visit her in the summertime and sit on the porch, oh my goodness, those darn things are so loud. They seem to like to try and talk louder than us, It's going to move this closer, just in case it's getting quite loud here right now. A whole bunch of university students just popped in and that. Yeah, well, that's why I call myself kind of like an urban homesteader because I'm in the suburbs, and I do things like canning, pressure canning, long-term storage. I do a little bit of prepping, but not a lot. So I do more of keeping food for about 3 months. Some things I have for about 6 months, and then I have like freezers and stuff like that. But if the power goes out, I still have like dried food that I can use, and I have a barbecue with a propane tank, and I have a camp barbecue, and I have. I want to get one of those solar ovens. I just think it would be kind of fun to use in the summertime because then that way I don't have to heat my house because it gets crazy hot. But we don't always want to have a cold meal in the summertime. So, does anybody here have a solar oven? And how do they like it? I know I've seen them online. I've put them as a husband is truck driver. He is not quitting just me. Well, I think being a truck driver is kind of neat. I have a friend whose husband is a truck driver, and he makes enough money driving a truck. I think it's about 3 or 4 days a week. That he would make more than working a full-time 9-to-5 job. And, like unfortunately, he was one of those guys that, didn't go to post-secondary education, so he just has his high school. So there's not a lot of jobs out there that will take high school and give you a decent pay, except for truck driving. And I've seen a bunch of, there's a lady on my subscriptions, I can't remember her name. She's a truck driver. Her and her husband drive a truck, or maybe her husband doesn't, she just hangs out. They live in their truck, and she has an Instant Pot, and she was doing burritos, I think, in them, like actually grilling the actual burrito in them, like using it as a hot plate. It was really kind of cool. I thought, well, that's quite ingenious. Like, if you could be a truck driver and like get rid of all of your earthly possessions and just kind of like camp, like in your truck and see the country, wouldn't that be kind of cool in your like later years or in your retirement and still get paid? I mean, you might not necessarily have the greatest, healthiest meals because you'll be eating out a lot, not necessarily cooking a lot. But you could take jobs as you want in directions that you want to go. But my dad is over-the-road truck driver. I don't know the different terminologies of truck driving, unfortunately. So I don't know what that means in over-the-road. Is it like a long-distance driver, or is it like short-distance ones? Like, for example, here in Ottawa, one of the major warehouse things in the city is looking for truck drivers to drive the run from here to, I think, Sudbury, or it's like a 3-hour drive away. So it means he's a long. So he goes like say from Canada to Florida, 24 hours and then back or whatever. But there's a warehouse here that they're dying. Like they're putting calls out. Like I see it in the newspaper and online. Very cool. That they're looking for people to take on runs from here to just cities just about 3 hours away. So you could easily drive there, drop off your load, and drive back within your 8-9 hour shift. And they're paying like well above minimum wage. Like they're paying, like here our minimum wage just went up to $14 an hour Canadian, and next year it's going up to $15 an hour. Server's wage is I think $11.50 right now, and then going up to $12.50. Server's wage is usually $1 less than minimum wage because they include them getting tips and stuff like that. But so they were advertising this truck driving job for something like $30+ an hour. I'm like, damn, that's like really good pay. Like, he delivers cars. Oh, that's cool. Does he get any discounts on if there's ever any, like, dings on them? Hey, there's a ding on them. You get like 50% discount. Oh wow. Yeah, I've never driven a truck. I don't have my license, but I did go for my license when I was 17. Like, I did take the course and stuff like that. You don't get the crash and dent once. Oop, it fell off the truck. Someone didn't tie it on. Well, that's cool. Discounted cars. I mean, those are expensive. Like, my friend just got a car. She ended up getting a used one because the new ones were like $30,000 plus tax and all that stuff for the base model. She ended up getting like a 1.5-year-old Prius. I can't remember what type it is. Something. I remember she said it was Prius, and it was like a half electric, half gas. So it literally only cost her like $30 Canadian to fill up the tank instead of $50. Like, it had the same tank size, but uses less gas. So she's quite happy with that. But for a 1.5-year car that only had like 20,000 kilometers on it, which is nothing, she got like all the special warranties and insurance things on it, and it has all these bells and whistles, like the top of the line, like heated seats and rear view camera, like it just came with the car. She paid with taxes under 30, and that's also with the insurance that if she gets into a car accident within the first 3 years of having the car, the insurance will pay off the loan, so she's back at zero. So that's really good, because she has had a car. Just before Christmas, she was on the highway, and she was stopped for an accident, and someone rear-ended her. Like, she was completely stopped, and it totaled her car. And she was just lucky that she had the insurance part on her car, because she hadn't finished paying it yet. She still had another 6 months to pay on it, but it was covered until she finished making payments. So she ended up getting all the loan that was left on the car paid off, plus the cost of the car, so that she used that money to purchase this car. So she gained a couple $1,000, not a heck of a lot, but she gained a couple $1,000 because she had the insurance on it. I don't know what type of insurance that is, but she just let me know that she did that with this car, because that really saved her ass, because she's a single mom, and she works at like a pharmacy / like convenience store, so she works minimum wage, and then she does cleaning, for a couple of people. So, and she doesn't have insurance other than our global OHIP. So anything else here, you have so she doesn't have health insurance, I should, besides our OHIP. So if we get sick, we can go to the hospital. They'll do the tests and all that stuff. We will get care, just great care. But we would be in hospital rooms. That would be a ward. So a ward room would have like 4 beds to a big, huge room. If you have insurance, you have different levels of insurance through your employer. You you can have semi-private, so that's 2 people to a room, or private where you have your own room in the hospital. That's where the insurance is helpful. Also with insurance, you could get back 80% of your prescriptions, 80% of your dental, or up to 50% of like braces and stuff like that, up to $2,000 or $3,000. And eye care, you get like 80% of eye care up to $300, like for glasses and stuff, and it pays for your eye exams and stuff like that. But like if you're sick, you can go to the doctor and you're not going to get charged money here. As for car insurance, yes, you need to have basic car insurance, like collision and stuff like that. So if you don't have insurance, you could get fined, but you can get your car taken away, confiscated, impounded, and you can go to jail. Like we don't play around with that type of stuff. Like you have to have the basic insurance, which will cover your car collision and cover you injuring somebody else. But you can have different levels of insurance on your car with higher amount deductibles that you could pay less per month. Her being a single mom, so her being a single mom, she felt it was in her best interest to pay for a better insurance, because she needs that car for income, because she can't get to work without her car because she's out in the country. Like there's no city bus. Like she needs a car to get to the city bus, like to get to like the Greyhound buses to get into the city. She needs a car to get to the doctor. Like she can't walk to the doctor. There's no taxis out where she lives in the country. Like there is a service that you can call, but it's like Billy Joe has a car down the road. You call his cell number and he can tell you if he can pick you up or not. They may take. Well, exactly. Well, it depends. Also, if you've caused an accident. If you caused an accident and you have no insurance, yeah, exactly. Oh, I swear. Like and what's funny is here in Canada, it is not uncommon to see people hitchhiking. Okay, so in the city, you will see sometimes people at the exits and entrances of the highway, the local highway that goes right through the city. It's called the Queensway. It goes from east to west through the city, and then continues on to like Montreal and Toronto and stuff like that. It spreads out, so it can go to the big towns. But at entrance and exit, and walking on the freaking highway on the side with signs saying I'm going to Toronto, and people will pick them up. We don't have, I'm sure we have enough crazies out there like everybody does, but I think just because of our per capita, we don't, we shy on the what's it called? The kindness factor. So if we see homeless people downtown, so I'm downtown Ottawa right now. In my bag here, I always bring a box of granola bars. So when I'm seeing homeless people here begging for money for food, I will give them a granola bar. They appreciate that. I used to give them home-cooked muffins, but they didn't quite appreciate that. And one time, one person told me it's because at some point somebody had given them home-cooked muffins, and it was like full of like pine sol or wherever they were being mean to them, and so they don't trust home-cooked stuff. Fair enough, so I buy pre-packaged stuff. Like I buy it for my family. I buy it on sale. I paid like $1.67, maybe $2 for the box. Whenever I come downtown, I have it in my bag. So if I do see somebody who's homeless, I don't always have cash. Okay, I totally use my debit card, right? If I have like $1 on me, it's a sheer miracle. Like even our bus, we use a card, like a debit card. You put money on it online, and we tap it on the bus. You can use money, but it's cheaper to use the card. It's called a Presto card. But here you're more likely to pick up a hitchhiker or see somebody pick up a hitchhiker. Or I've had it where if I'm out during the day and I'll go out somewhere for lunch, I've sat down at like a restaurant, be quite busy, and they sit me down at a table that can sit like 3 or 4 people. Another single person, guy or girl, might be coming in after me, and there's no more seats. I'll say, hey, if you want, you could sit at my table. I have like 3 seats here, and you can have your lunch. You're having it by yourself. I have my lunch. We can either interact and say hi or not. I have no problem with that. But, that's kind of like the difference here in Canada than in the States. And also, like, nobody carries a gun. The only people that carry a gun are the bad guys, the criminals, or the cops. But almost everybody I know, especially in the country, almost everybody I know hunts, and they have like shotguns for hunting and stuff like that. And they might even have other guns, but we register them because we don't see a problem with registering our firearms because we're not planning on using them for bad things. And if and the thing with that is like how it works here in Canada. If somehow we got broken in, like we have registered firearm, somebody broke in and stole our firearm, and then they used it for a criminal activity, we're not going to get harmed because we registered it and it wasn't us doing it, and we can kind of like prove it, having a good alibi or whatever type thing. And especially if you don't have like a criminal record already. But when I've gone to the States, like I went to the States a few years ago. We were going on a cruise and we went to Miami, and we went to the Walmart at Miami, and the security guard was an off-duty police officer. He had his gun on him, and people in Walmart shopping you could see their holsters, and I was like, okay, like this is so weird. Like we're at Walmart. Like what do you think is going to happen at freaking Walmart on a Saturday evening in the summertime? Like, do you really need to have your gun on you at Walmart? It wasn't even Black Friday or nothing like that. So, and it's just always shocking of seeing how like in the States, how freely people will wear their guns on them. And even in some people's videos, like I've seen them, like they're chopping apples or whatever, and you can see that they have their holster on their hip. And I'm like, you're on your homestead. I can understand if it's dark or that, and there might be wildlife, but it's the middle of the day. I don't know how much how wild it is in your area that you need to have your handgun. Like, and really, is a handgun what you would use to scare off wildlife? Wouldn't that be more like a rifle? I don't know. I've never actually shot I shot a gun that did blanks at like a fair, but that was about the extent of it. I have shot bows and arrows and a crossbow, so I've done that, and we only shot them at balloons on targets or hay targets, or like a sheet that we shot at in the forest, and had to go and try and collect our arrows in the forest. But and also like the news that we get up here from the States, we have the concept that you guys are like, everybody's carrying their guns with them, and they fighting to having to register them because it's their constitutional right to have a gun. Fair enough, it's a constitutional right to have a gun, but I don't see what the issue is registering them if you don't plan to use them for bad things. I don't know what. I don't know. Yes, the whole gun thing is ongoing to me. My husband and I both have guns, hunting and to protect our home predators. I don't carry mine on me because around the homestead because see here hitchhiking. So I have, like, my daughter is 16. Okay, she doesn't have her license. She wants to get her license. We have 5 different. Well, exactly. Get big dogs. Dogs are more of a deterrent to wildlife and to intruders than a gun. Because by the time you have a gun, they're too close. Like, a dog can get them far away, and more people are scared of dog barking than the fact that you possibly have a gun. Like here, everybody I know that lives out in the country have like big ass dogs, like big, German Shepherds, you know, Goldens or whatever, as animals killed by. Well, exactly. You have dogs. Dogs make a lot of noise. And if you have 5 of them, I'm like, good luck getting anything done around there. Because you have dogs like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You're the most important person in my life. Dogs I see as being perpetual 2-year-olds, and they're completely loyal. If you treat them right, they are completely loyal to you, and you can call them names in the way. I still love you. Cats. I have 2 cats. My cats love me, but when they're pissed off, when we've gone away for a few days, they will come and meow at us and let us know that somehow we pissed them off. So we are our cat's pets, while a dog is a human's pet. So we are owned by our cats, while you own a dog. And cats are like more like the either the aunt you like or the aunt you don't like. Oh yes, they have attitude. I have 2 cats. One's named Princess and one's named Sushi. And if they're low on food or water, they will come and meow at me. Like, I'll get up in the morning, I'll go to the bathroom, and they'll come into the bathroom. They'll push the door open, because they don't necessarily always close the door shut to make the clicking noise, because I don't necessarily want to try to wake people up. But they'll open the door and start meowing at me at the top of their lungs, saying, excuse me, I'm low on food, I'm low on water. Threatening effects, I don't ever understand. Well, exactly. The semi-auto guns, their only purpose is to kill. You don't use them for hunting, and you would only be using them for protecting you against, like, what? A military invasion of what? The problem, like, this is why I don't understand, like, the only people that should have those are the military, or, like, and when you see, like, okay, Ottawa, our country's capital. Last year, let me Google this. Ottawa murders. Ottawa murders per year. Let me see. Okay, so our country's capital. Let me see here. Yes, so we had, actually, last year we had a record number of shootings in Ottawa. We had 69 shootings in the whole year in Ottawa, of like 1 million. Some people, how many people are in Ottawa? I don't know. Ottawa, Ontario population. So, let's see how much population we have. Because we've been growing significantly. So we have 236,325 people in Ottawa. Of those people, we've had 69 murders. That's like crazy small amounts. Now, same with violent crime. We have petty crime. So, yes, we have people stealing cars. Or, yes, we have people breaking into houses and stealing TVs and stuff like that. But them breaking into the houses and causing injury to the people in the houses is very rare. They usually wait till they're long gone or gone on vacation. But yeah, we had 68 shootings in 2016, and we had 69 in 2017. And this year, let's see, I mean, it's only been January. Have we had any yet? Let's see. Yeah. everyone hunts, so it's not unusual to see. Exactly, like I'm in the west end of Ottawa. Everybody, like 5 minutes away in the country, has hunting guns. People in the city have hunting guns, right? Like they get the hunting license. Like one of my best friends, he has a hunting gun. He goes to the rifle range where the military goes and practice shooting at the range there. You pay a membership there, and you can use it whenever. Just not when they're doing major training. But he goes there and practices, shooting either his guns, or they have some for rent that you could practice shooting their guns. So you could try those big guns. But yeah, it's not an issue. Like everybody I know has rifles. Few of them have handguns, and when we have them, we register them because we don't see an issue with registering. Like there are some Canadians that feel like how you do in the States, that you shouldn't have to register them. It's your constitutional right, blah blah blah, which is fine. But majority of us doesn't see a problem with registering them because we don't have plans to use them illegally. We have plans to use them for self-defense, and that is fine. And by our law, if someone breaks into our house, it's the same kind of as you. If they break into your house and you think that you are threatened, you have every right to do whatever you has to do to keep yourself safe. You might get charged initially because, if you shot the person because you fired a gun, but then it would get dismissed. So, as long as you don't go and taunt them to come into your house, like, that's just asking for trouble. But yeah, no, don't have issues with. I just find it so shocking of people. Like, you can get a permit to carry a gun on your person. Certain people, like off-duty, some certain off-duty military or off-duty police officers have a permit to carry their gun on them. But they have to have that permit. You don't just do it. But you don't see that often. Well, when I was in the States, in Miami and Walmart, by the airport, like, it's not exactly, it's not even populated there, There was, like, one of 20 people was carrying that I could see. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to see it, or is it supposed to be concealed? I don't know what the rules are because I don't have a gun, and I have no inclination of a gun because with my luck, especially with my family members, I have 2 blind people. Like, somebody could be cleaning it and cause a problem, Give mutts we do fostering and rescue when we can, and it's almost always pregnant mutts because I'm an experienced dog midwife, and they always call me when they get pregnant. Well, very cool. I've helped cats give birth when I was a teenager, but since being an adult, all of our cats we've gotten fixed, except for our current cat, Sushi, is not fixed, but she doesn't go outside. So, and we're just too darn lazy to try and figure out how to get her to the vet to get fixed because you can't bring the pets on the bus, and finding somebody with a ride that isn't allergic to cats, and you have to drop them off and get their surgery and pick them up another time. It's a bit of a hassle. I wish there was visiting vets that could do stuff like that. But soon I'm going to have to get off here. I'm so happy to see you guys still hanging on with me. But if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot. I have about another 5 or 6 minutes before I have to go because my daughter's choir should be finishing soon, and then we'll get to go home. But I didn't realize that how the time was passing. It was lots of fun chatting with you guys. So we talked about how we still see lots of hitchhikers here, especially the young people, like the 20-some-odd-year-olds, the students that are going home for Christmas vacation or summer vacation, or they'll have their backpack on them when they're traveling because it's cheaper if they can get a ride, right? And then we also see some of the older people who like to just travel and hitchhike. Been great fun. Love the talk. Thanks. I will watch you all. Awesome. Yeah, please feel free, like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Comment below, and if you have any other questions, feel free to comment on the live stream after the fact, and I'll answer any questions I can. But yeah, I just find it shocking of how much negative news happens in the States and in the cities and stuff, of how many shootings and killings and all that. Like up here, like even in Toronto, which is like something like 5 billion people or something crazy, they still have like more shootings than we do. But by population amount, it's hardly anything compared to some of your even smaller cities. Like we keep on hearing, I think Detroit or Chicago is like the murder capital of the U.S. or the crime capital, like of violent crime. Well, here there's not a lot of violent crime. We have some heavy crime, like breaking and enter and stealing cars. Chicago, okay, because I'm like, great talk. Can't wait to do this again. Well, I hope to try to be on here maybe tomorrow morning, maybe at 6:30, or at noon. I'll definitely be on at noon. I don't know if I'll make it early in the morning. I have to see how things go. But yeah, let's see. Detroit is bad. I grew up in Warren, 3 Mile North, and Detroit, St. Lance. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was Detroit or Chicago. Both of them have like bad numbers. We always hear all the negative stuff that goes on in the States. Like, apparently, like in Canada, we don't have enough of our news to be interesting and negative, so we get a lot of your news. And some of the things that happen down there is like it really racks our Canadian brains, because we just don't understand like how it gets to that point. Like, not saying that we're perfect. I mean, there's racism everywhere and stuff like that, but the stories that we hear might be over-exaggerated or more dramatic, or they're choosing the worst of the worst stories to share. That's kind of how the news works. But the ones that we hear, we're like, what are they thinking? Because I've met so many Americans, and whether they agree with my viewpoints on things or not, I've never heard them be like that bad, And even if they're just a good old boy and never seen anybody of any different color anywhere, they don't have the hate that you see on the news. Like, I don't know how much of that is like legit or is just the worst case. But as Canadians, we're sometimes wondering if this is the norm down there. Like, it kind of, honestly, I haven't been to the States in the past year, just because our dollar used to be close to par, and now it's like 30 cents on the dollar, so it's not really worth to go. Like, I only live an hour away from the Ogdensburg, New York border, so we used to go down for a day trip, go shopping, do some groceries, because you have like really cool cereals and pumpkin spice everything. Well, up here we don't have hardly anything pumpkin spice other than coffee, and I think a couple of cookies. That's it. So we don't get pumpkin spice. So we used to always go down in the fall and get pumpkin spice this and chocolate mint that and all the cool Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, candy corn, whatever, all sugary crap stuff. But up here we don't have the variety that you guys do. We have a lot of maple flavored stuff, but that's about it. So different in other places. No hay around here. It's really more in bigger metro areas, I think. I will be working at noon, but we'll catch you. Sure, and if you guys have an idea of what's a good time to come on, feel free to comment below, and maybe we could start a discussion of what's a good time, because I'd love to connect with you guys. I love chatting with people that want to chat with me. I tried a live stream a couple months ago, and I think there was only one person on here with me, which is fine, but it's not as fun, because I like to get to know you guys, and you get to know me, and hopefully that makes you want to watch my videos, or hang out, or whatever, Bye everyone, hope to catch you all again and chat soon. Glad to meet the other channels. Going to try to do some more. Awesome. Feel free. Share the love. I'm all about sharing the love. Click like, share, subscribe on people's channels. Watch a video, comment. Share the love. Because we're all in this together, right? Because nobody I know is doing this to try and make money. If we make money, that's kind of like a bonus. We're doing this because we are trying to chronologically record what we do in our life. Whether it's me cooking and canning, you having like dogs or chickens or goats, or dealing with like winter, or dealing with the heat of the summer, or gardening, or whatever. We all can learn from each other. A, how to be better people, and B, to like learn some skills. Because I've been learning a lot of things from people who have large homesteads and have animals and stuff like that I never knew. When I was a kid, I was that kid that thought that chocolate milk came from a brown cow. White milk came from the white and black cows. And I never saw any other cows. So, I didn't understand where the strawberry milk came from, though. I was really confused. So I also didn't quite understand where babies came from until I was like 8 or so. I was a little bit naive, a little bit dense. Good night, all. About to watch. Okay, night, everybody. Bye from Canada, from Jen in Canada. Love you all. Mwah.